The Lumix S1R Mark II proves just how good the GH7 is, so why did no one come to bat for it in the same way? The release of the Lumix S1R has unintentionally done something fascinating. It's proven without a doubt just how good the GH7 is. But strangely, the same YouTubers who went all in for the Lumix S9 and S1R Mark II are nowhere to be found when it comes to defending the GH7. Why is that? Well, the only difference seems to be that Panasonic didn't offer an all-expenses-paid trip for the GH7's launch. The Lumix S1R just launched with glowing reviews from the same people who reviewed but quickly cast aside the GH7. And yet, when you break down the specs and features, the GH7 is basically the Micro Four Thirds equivalent of the S1R Mark II. Both cameras feature industry-leading stabilization, offer high-resolution modes, have phase detect autofocus, and have pro-level video features. The only major difference is one is Micro Four Thirds and one is full frame. Yet the S1R Mark II is hailed as a technical marvel and the GH7 is left to fend for itself. Despite the lack of hype, the GH7 is simply that good. It delivers everything I need in a reliable, compact form, and the fact that it wasn't hyped the way the S9 and the S1 Mark II was proves that hype isn't always about quality, it's about marketing. When the Lumix S9 was announced, Panasonic flew a group of YouTubers out to Japan for a beautiful curated experience, an all-expenses trip complete with free cameras, guided shoots, and exclusive access. The same happened for the S1R Mark II. Yet when it came to the GH7, Panasonic didn't offer the same red carpet treatment. And wouldn't you know it, the GH7 got nowhere near the same level of enthusiastic coverage. Coincidence? Unlikely. Now let's be clear, there's nothing inherently wrong with brands sending influencers out on trips. But what is the problem is when YouTubers insist that these trips are not a form of payment. Viewers are smart enough to know that an all-expenses paid trip and a free camera absolutely counts as compensation. If a company covers your flights, hotel, and meals in a luxury location, that's payment in everything but name. Panasonic isn't doing it out the kindness of their hearts. They expect coverage and they get it. Another thing I've never seen before, at least not at this scale, is just how many of these YouTubers are now flooding the comment section on other videos, trying to defend both themselves and the camera. You don't usually see this happening. A typical camera launch comes and goes, but after the S9 and the S1R Mark II launches, it seems like there's an extra effort to combat criticism in comment sections across YouTube. Why? Because viewers are pushing back against the overly polished, over-enthusiastic marketing disguised as honest reviews. People are getting tired of the hard sell. They're starting to ask questions. Why is the camera so hyped when there's a paid trip involved? Why are certain YouTubers suddenly so engaged in comment sections when they weren't before? Why did the best ever Micro Four Thirds camera get thrown under the bus while full frame cameras get universal praise? The GH7 is an amazing camera. It proves that sensor size is not the ultimate measure of a camera's value, something that some YouTubers praising the S1R Mark II should, in theory, already understand. But because there was no flashy trip, no all-expenses paid experience, and no free GH7 handed out to every reviewer, it got left in the dust, and that should tell you something. I'm on my third GH7 now. If the camera wasn't great, I would not have spent my own money on all three of them. Meanwhile, many of the same YouTubers who praised the S9 and the S1R Mark II most likely won't keep or use the camera once the hype dies down. But before anyone gets the wrong idea, no one is mad or upset about these cameras. The primary audience of these videos already have cameras. Most of them aren't sitting around waiting for the next big release. If anything, they're looking for a real reason to switch, upgrade, or add a new camera to their kit. And if Panasonic isn't doing enough to convince them, that's not on the viewer, that's on Panasonic. Marketing is Panasonic's job, not the audience's responsibility. If they can't generate enough interest without an influencer trip, that's the problem of strategy, not consumer skepticism. So no, people aren't angry, they're just aware. Thanks for watching.